I'm going to be recording a series of short videos for people who are home birth midwifery students. I have been interested in becoming a home birth midwife for many, many years, and I've always wished that somebody would make videos just for me. So now I am a home birth midwifery student, and I will be making videos that I always wanted to have for myself. So I'm thinking these videos, I have a list of things I want to talk about. Some of them are just like tips or things that have helped me or experiences that I've had in the past. I'm going to explain a little bit about myself. I'm married. I'm turning 47 soon, so I've had a lot of life experiences before coming into this phase. And I would like to encourage all home birth midwifery students or apprentices that it's a very, very special time of life to be a student. It's actually a wonderful time where you can learn so many things and have questions and just lay a valuable foundation for the life you're going to live. And the first thing I wanted to share about that has really helped me is about reading. You have a lot of reading, and which is wonderful. So I just wanted to share a little tip that I learned when I was doing a lot of required reading earlier. I was taught a system of reading so that you can save tidbits of information so that you can use it later, because while you're studying, you're just absorbing. But then when you go into practice, you'll have to be giving out all of this information. So it helps if you can set up a system of how to kind of retrieve the tidbits of information that are valuable, that you want to be able to pass on to other people later. You never know if it's just for clients or if it's going to be like that you'll write a book or write articles or anything. So what I was taught to do was to create a file system, and I had a paper file system and an electronic file system, and I created files for it was like 50 files. Sometimes there were even more because I kind of went a little crazy on all these files, but topics for things that, for example, post pregnancy complaints or common concerns of pregnancy, like just the discomforts of pregnancy. That's one file. Herbs that are good for pregnancy or that are not allowed during pregnancy. Breastfeeding, a file about vaccinations, just all these topics about things that midwives deal with. So I had a file on my computer, so electronic, and I also had physical files for when I needed to actually cut pieces of paper or store articles into these files. And when I would read a book, so for example, I had this book, a Midwife's Handbook. And I would read, as I was reading this book, I would take notes. And what did my notes look like? So that I could the point is to make information retrievable for later use. So I would when I would read the book, I would just have a piece of paper in the book and I would be writing. But then when I would type my notes up into the computer, and so I would, the first column here, I had just the initials of the book, A Midwife's Handbook, AMA, and then the page number. Then here in this box, I would put the information that I thought was valuable. Then in this box, it was if the information gave me a question, if I had a question about something after reading that book, I would write the question there. And then over in the final column, I would put how I wanted to use this information later. Did I want to just store it in my file about the common concerns of pregnancy, like discomforts, because this book was full of all these little tidbits of how to help with that. Did I want to use it in a book for parents or in a particular handout? So I would put ways I wanted to use it over here. When I was done reading, I would take these notes and I would just copy and paste the columns into the electronic files. Or if I said file 5, this file, common complaints of pregnancy. So I would just paste that row into that folder so that on my computer. Or I would print this out and I would cut it into strips and I would put these strips into that paper folder, whatever I was doing at the time, paper or electronic. In that way, in the future, if I have to write a handout or if I have a client that presents with a problem or a question, then I can just go right to that file and find the source and the page number, which is very important to be able to find. Then the information, and then like here, that just helped me sort it after I had done it. So I want to give you this example. Like right now, I'm just reading this book, a book for midwives. And I have going inside of it my paper. I'll show you my paper where I'm taking notes. So on this paper, I folded it in half so it doesn't hang outside. But I just have here, for example, I have a book for midwives, and then I have ABFM. That's going to be my code for this book title. Then I have my list of page numbers where I find the information, and then I have like what I want to remember, like about nutrition. This will probably go in my nutrition file because they have a lot about nutrition in this book. Other questions, like sometimes I just get a question about something. So I'll write that, and then I'll put where to file it, how I want to use it, and what file I want to put it, or how I want to use it in the future. So for example, on my computer, I have a file that's just called a book for parents. So if I ever write a book for parents, there are things that I can put in there that don't fit into another file, a topical file, for example. So this is just so that it's one thing that's really helped me, because you read a ton. And so to make information reusable quickly for yourself when you're done with your studies and are actually then having to teach and produce materials yourself, you'll be able to draw things out very quickly. So that was something that helped me. And then another thing I just wanted to say really fast was, when you have to read a book and then write reports, it really, really helps me. Where did I put those? I use just these Post-it notes, those little tiny Post-it notes. I just use Post-it notes. I can't find them right now. Oh, wait a minute, here they are. So I always just have Post-it notes stuck in my book. And usually I just use a little one. Wherever in the book, I know I want to put this into my review or my report that I'm doing something that I liked or that I disagreed with or that gave me a question, and I'll just stick this right in the book, this Post-it note. And then when I'm done reading the book and I have to write the review, I just have like loads of Post-it notes coming out the side of the book where I marked things. And then when I go to write the review, it's actually really fast because I can just open the book and then start going through my Post-it notes of things I wanted to talk about or remember from that book. So that was something that's been really helpful. So I just wanted to encourage you that being a student is a very exciting time of life, and I hope that you become a great midwife.